Hello, Junior 6. Welcome back. And now we're going to continue with our story, Robinson Crusoe. Before we start the new chapter, chapter 6, I want to remind you of the last events, or the previous events we talked about last time. We said that Robinson was on the island now, and he managed to make pots. So he had hot water for the first time. Then he had goats. He milked the goats. He made cheese, he made the cheese and drank milk from the goats. And he made pots to have hot water. His life on the island was busy from morning to night, and he became very good with his tools. As we said, he found many goats on the island, and he made a fence around them to get milk from the goats. Now, I want all of you, my dear students, to open your storybooks on page 23. Chapter 6, A Footprint. A footprint is a mark made by man's foot. So, then, one year, something strange and terrible happened. Let's see what's the terrible thing that happened on the island. This is a very important question. Here, who said this? Robinson, of course. He said this. What happened this year? Let's see. I often walked along the shore. The shore is the beach. And one day, I saw something in the sand. I went over to look at it more carefully and stopped in sudden surprise. He was shocked. What happened? It was a footprint. The footprint of a man. And why was he shocked? Because he was all alone on the island for years now. So, who could this be? Afraid? I looked around me. I listened. I waited. Nothing. I was more and more afraid. Perhaps this man was one of those wild people who killed and ate other men. I looked everywhere, but there was nobody and no other footprint. I turned and hurried home. So the first thing he did, he hurried home. He ran home. There is someone on my island, I said to myself. Perhaps he knows about me. Perhaps he is watching me now from behind a tree. Perhaps he wants to kill me. So he was afraid that somebody was on the island and is waiting for him to go out of his house and kill him. So that night I couldn't sleep. Which night he's talking about? The day he saw the footprint on the sand. That night I couldn't sleep. The next day, I got all my guns ready, and I put more wood and young trees around my house. He made his house and fence stronger. He was afraid that there's somebody on the island. Nobody could see me now, but after 15 years alone on the island, I was afraid, and I didn't leave my cave for 3 days. So now, the first action he did here, he found a footprint on the sand. He was very afraid. He made his fence stronger. He stayed at home for 3 days and he didn't go out. He was afraid that there is somebody waiting for him to kill him or eat him, perhaps a wild man. On page 24 now, in the end, I had to go out to milk my goats. But for 2 years, I was afraid. I stayed near my home and I never used my guns because I didn't want to make a noise. I couldn't forget the footprint, but I saw and heard nothing more, and slowly I began to feel happier. One day, a year later, so that's the 3rd year after he found the footprint, I was over on the west side of the island. From there, I could see the other islands, and I could also see a boat far out to sea. If I have a boat, I thought, it's easy to sail across to this island. Perhaps that explains the footprint. It was a visitor from one of the other islands. And now he began to feel happier and he relaxed. I began to move more freely around the island again. and I built myself a third house. It was a very secret place in a cave. No wild man will ever find that, I said to myself. So he had two houses on the island, and now he built the third house. Then one year something happened which I can never forget. I was again on the west side of the island, and I was walking along the shore. Suddenly, I saw something which made me feel ill. This time he wasn't afraid, he was ill. There were heads, arms, feet, and other pieces of men's bodies everywhere. So he was really ill. Imagine that you are walking on the shore to find heads, arms, feet, and other pieces of men's bodies. This is disgusting, of course. For a minute, I couldn't think, and then I understood. Sometimes there were fights between the wild men on other islands, and then they came here to my island with their prisoners to kill them, cook them, and eat them. Slowly I went home, but I was very angry. How could men do this? For many months, I watched carefully for the smoke from the fires. Now we are on page 25. But I didn't see anything. Somehow, the wild men came and went, and I never saw them. I was angry and afraid. I wanted to shoot them all, but there were many of them and only one of me. Perhaps I can shoot 2 or 3, I said to myself, but then they will kill and eat me. Then one morning in my 23rd year on the island, okay, see here the time, he spent 3 years on the island. I was out in my fields and I saw the smoke from the fire. Quickly, I went up the hill to watch. There were 9 men around the fire. There were 9 men around the fire, and they were cooking their terrible food. So here I want you to highlight this line here. There were 9 men around the fire. They were cooking their terrible food. What terrible food he's talking about? They were eating other men. Then these wild men danced around the fire, singing and shouting. This went on for about 2 hours, and then they got into their boats and sailed away. I went down to the shore and saw the blood of the dead men on the sand. The next time they come, I am going to kill them, I said angrily. Now chapter 6 on your booklet on page 77. Then one year something strange and terrible happened. Who said this? Robinson Crusoe. What happened in this year? He saw a footprint of a man on the shore. What does the footprint mean? It means that there is someone else on the island. So why was he, what strange thing happened? He saw a footprint of a man on the shore. What does this mean? It means that there is someone else on the island. Number 2. There were 9 men around the fire. They were cooking their terrible food. Who said this? Robinson Crusoe. What were they doing around the fire? It's mentioned here. They were dancing and singing. What was that terrible food? They kill men and eat their dead bodies. So the men were dancing and singing around the fire, and they were cooking their terrible food. What terrible food here does he mean? He means that they kill men and eat their dead bodies. Number 3. The next time they come, I'm going to kill them. Who said this? Robinson Crusoe. What does the pronoun they refer to? He says, the next time they come, I'm going to kill them. So them here means the wild men. I want you to correct this, the pronoun them. not they. The word them refers to the wild men. Why did the speaker want to kill them? He was angry because they kill men and eat them. Now, page 78, the complete. In the end, I had to go out to milk my goats. In the end, I had to go out to milk my goats. Number 2, it was a footprint. The footprint of a man. That's what makes him afraid. I went down to shore and saw the blood of a dead man on the sand. Now, that's all for today, and next time we are going to continue with chapter 7.